Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on my channel here. Now in today's video guys, I'm going to be bringing you part 3 of my big nickel over G scheme here. In today's video, we're going to go over cover 4 palms. We'll be going over the coaching adjustments, personnel subs, and multiple setups that you can run to win more games in Madden at a big nickel over G. Now quick before we get into the video guys, my Twitter is down the link below if you want to go follow me. Also, my 2 most recent videos are going to be in the top right of the screen right now if you want to go watch them. And also in the card as well is going to be parts 1 and 2 of my big nickel over G scheme. And other guys, let's go ahead, let's get into it. Okay guys, so here we go. This is going to be the big nickel over G scheme. Now quickly, I have to go over this. We will not be coming out of any packages. You could if you want, but I recommend you don't. So what we're going to be doing on offense is we're going to be running gun bunch tight end, and the play is going to be, I believe, PA boot over. And I'm going to be showing you a pretty popular route combo that I like to use, and I'm going to be showing you how this pretty much bags it. Now quickly, let's get first into the coaching adjustments. So your coaching adjustments, what I like to do, I like to put my flats on 5 yards and my curl flats on 20 yards. Now guys, let's get into these subs. So what we're going to do, we're going to press R1 on our controller. It's going to bring up our personnel subs. So what I'm going to do here first of all is I'm going to make sure my best pass rushers are in there. So I'm just going to put Von Miller in at the right end spot, I believe, or left end spot. I'm going to put Jarrell Casey at defensive tackle. Now what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to go to my safeties and I'm going to put corners at safety. This actually opens you up to go and put better players at linebacker, better safeties and whatnot. And then also what we're going to do is in this spot right here, your strong safety is going to play here. We're going to go and we're just going to put in like a corner. We're going to put in like Devontae Harris, and then now what we're going to do is we're going to put our safeties at linebacker here. So basically what I did is I went and I made sure my best pass rushers are in there. Then I went in this spot and I put a corner in here, and then my top 2 safety spots right here, I just subbed in a corner and I left the strong safety, and then I subbed in the 2 safeties that I took out from those positions and put them at linebacker. So those are my personnel subs. So guys, let's go ahead, let's get into the first setup of this big nickel over G scheme part 3. Okay guys, so here we go. We are into the first setup here. Now on offense, I'm running PA boot over out of gun bunch tight end, as I previously mentioned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wheel the running back, I'm going to put X on a delay fade, I'm going to slant O, and then I'm going to motion him out at the end of the play once we get the defensive setup down. So this is what it looks like here without the motions and whatnot. So now I'm going to show you this setup. So the setup we're going to go over, guys, is very, very simple. What we're going to do is we're first going to pinch our defense, which is going to be R1 down on the left stick. What this does, it sort of acts as like a press, and it also pinches the D line, so it brings down your corners and then pinches your defensive line, and it also pinches your linebackers. Next thing you're going to do here is you're going to slant inside, which is going to be left D-pad down the right stick. What this is going to do is it's going to take, they're like an orange, I believe it was like orange rush animations that you saw on the previous play look. What it does here is it now changes it into red. And then the final adjustment we're going to make, guys, is we're going to go and we are going to contain if you are versing a fast quarterback like Lamar Jackson. And even it's good if you're facing like Aaron Rodgers and whatnot, just to make sure they don't get out of the pocket. So how you're going to contain here is you're going to double tap R1. So it's just that simple. So this is the first setup, guys. It's really, really simple. Now I do have to go over real quick here these quarter flats. So what these do is it's basically like man match coverage. So what this does here is it will go and it will act as sort of like man coverage. So let's just say, for example, I have Harris right here. What he's going to do is he is going to go and he is going to lock on to Russell Gage right here, the triangle receiver, and he is going to, it's going to act like man coverage for him. So that's just pretty simple here. It's the first setup. So now I'm going to run this play on offense. I'm going to try my best to use her, and I'm just going to show you that, this is pretty locked down here, this first setup. So we're going to run this here. As you can see, covering the slant. And I'm also I'm basically just covering what I can. And as you can see, he does get a lot of time in the pocket. And is he ever going to get to him? And we finally do get to him. So now I'm going to showcase here what this play looked like as it was happening. I tried my best to use her as well as, play offense a little bit. So here we go. So we're first going to look at here the running back the wheel route. Oh my goodness. So here we go. So we're going to cover the running back here. As you can see, he's pretty open. You could go and throw this, and that's because we're playing deep here. However, I did try to get over there as much as I could, and as the play developed more, this player was right here. This, I believe, is a corner. He was right here, and he was covering him. So if he were to throw that ball, it could possibly result in an interception. But that was the first route. The next route here is going to be that motion slant. So we're going to cover that. As you can see, that was covered pretty much the whole way by our user right here. And then eventually, he does ended up getting locked on right here by this player. Now we're going to move on here to that crosser route right here, triangle. So we're going to take a look at him. As you can see, you know, he was pretty covered. He was pretty bagged. And now you could throw it in the middle. It's definitely a possibility. That's what most people will go to. However, my user was right there. And also, as the play ended up developing more, you saw that this guy eventually locks onto him. So it's going to make it really hard. And then finally, we do have that deep post route, which is also square on this play. And he was pretty much locked up, like, pretty much the whole entire way. You could burn him up the middle, but realistically, you really couldn't. So that is the first setup. I mean, it's honestly a very simple setup. It's not going to be one that you're going to be, like, very, very successful with, that you should run every play. You should definitely vary up your setups and try to get the opponent on its toes. So now, guys, we're going to go over the second setup. All right, guys, so here is the second setup. So what you're going to do, you're just going to start it off as you did the last one. You're going to pinch your defense, send your defensive line inside, and you're going to contain. Now we're going to get into the differences. So the next thing you're going to do, guys, is you're going to go and you're going to shade over the top, which is going to be triangle, flicking the right stick up. What that's going to do here is that is going to go and it's going to make your quarter flats into curl flats. So they better play like crossing routes and whatnot. Instead of man matching, they're just going to be normal curl flats. And then the final thing you're going to do, guys, or the second to last thing, is you're going to go and you're going to drop this right edge rusher right here into a cloud flat. Now it's going to be a right edge rusher if you're versing a bunch to the left, or if you're doing bunch to the right, it's going to be your left edge rusher. Either way, you know, if you come out against the stack set like bunch or bunch tight end, I definitely recommend you go and drop one of your defensive linemen into a cloud flat or a hard flat and then shade over the top to make it a cloud flat. That way, it's basically like a cover 2 cloud. It's like or cover 3 cloud. You have cover 3 to the left and then cover 2 to the right. So how we're going to do that is you can either go and click onto the player and press X and flick the right stick or flick the left stick to the left. However, what we're going to do, we're just going to double tap the defensive line here, the left D-pad. We're going to press O and flick the left stick to the left, and then we're going to shade over the top again. So this is basically going to be the second setup here. This is a cover 3 cloud, very, very simple right here. And I'm going to try my best once again to not only user, but to also kind of use to use the second controller as well on offense. So here we go. We're just going to motion out Julio Jones right here. And we're just going to hike the ball. As you can see, we're going to cover it, and then we're going to bounce up, and then we're pretty much just bouncing all over the place. And as you can see, I mean, it was pretty open. We're just going to go, and I was just going to throw that, but then I believe Bradley Chubb ended up getting to Matt Ryan. So now we're going to take a look here on the instant replay. We're going to see what happened here. So we're going to start off with this slant route. As you can see, he was covered pretty well. I will have to say he's covered pretty well. Now, I did break off into that kind of crossing route right there. I did kind of break off, in my opinion. You know, I wasn't really thinking there. I should have stayed with the slant, because if you leave the slant, as you can see, he's very open right there. That's a bad user by me. I apologize. But now let's move on here to the wheel route and the running back. So originally, it was open because most of the players were playing deep and they weren't really kind of playing the flats. But now, as you can see, with Von Miller, what that does is it almost completely eliminates that wheel route. So now it's basically covered all the way here. So now we're going to take a look at this crossing route right here. And as you can see, I mean, once I used it onto it, it's pretty much covered. And then you have this player right here, as well as this player who can make a play. So this is definitely not somewhere you want to throw. And then now we're going to move on to the final one, which is that deep post route, which is square. And as you can see here, it's covered pretty well. Now, it is a little bit open in the center right here, but that's because it is a cover 4. What can you do? And yeah, so that's pretty much it here. That is the second setup. So now, guys, let's move into the third and final setup. Okay, guys, so here we go. This is going to be the third and final setup. Now, this is a bit more advanced, so hold on tight for this one. So first, you're going to pinch your defense, slant inside. Then you're going to contain. Then what we're going to do is we're going to shade over the top. We're going to drag Kareem Jackson out here. We're going to drag just the linebacker right here if you want. Then what we're going to do is we are going to put this safety. You can either go and click onto him and press X and then flick the left stick to the, excuse me, you're going to flick the left stick up, or you can just double tap triangle, press their icon, and flick the left stick up. So we're just going to click onto him. We're going to put him in a middle third here. And then what we're going to do is we are going to put this outside corner right here. We're going to put him into a deep half. So you can either click onto him and flick the left stick, or you can flick the right stick to the right, or you can double tap the triangle button, press his icon, and flick the right stick to the right. So there we go, guys. That is going to be the setup here. Now, also another thing you're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to put this player right here, this free safety, the corner that you subbed in. We're going to put him into a deep half to the left here, which is going to be the left stick to the right. And that is pretty much the setup, guys. That's pretty much what it is here. And yeah, that's pretty much the setup. Now, this is going to be it here. And all the setups are going to be down in the description as well if you want to read them. But this is pretty much it. And then also what we're going to do, the final setup, final step, I keep forgetting it, is you're going to go and you're going to man up this outside corner right here with the square player, which is going to be, you can either click onto him, flick the right stick up, or you can double tap the triangle, press the icon, and then you can pretty much go from there. So this is going to be the setup here. Now what you're going to have here, you're going to have a curl flat, you're going to have two curl flats, you're going to have two deep halves, and then a middle third. So this is what it's going to look like here. This is going to stop any like deep post route, anything like that from materializing. Really, you just got to kind of cover the middle on this play. So now what we're going to do, we're going to motion out O. We're going to see what happens on this play. So here we go. We're going to motion out right here. As you can see, just going to cover them pretty much the whole entire way. And someone does end up getting through right there for the sack. Wow, the pass rush actually worked. So now let's go. Let's take a look at this play right here. Let's see what we got cooking. So first of all, let's look at the running back wheel route. So, as I expected, we're not really playing the flats on this play. Now, you could go and drop, obviously, the right end or the left end into a hard flat and shade over the top. You could do that to kind of counter about this. But as you can see, I didn't do that. Then, next thing we have is going to be the O player. As you can see, we covered them all the way. That is not open because of the user. Then, moving on, we have the crossing route right here. It is pretty tightly covered right here, I'd say so. And he kind of does stop right here when he gets to the 30. That's because he is dropped about 20 yards. So you could definitely go and click onto him at this point. And then finally, we do have this over-the-top post route. As you can see, because of the man coverage and also the middle third, he does not get open. So guys, just keep in mind, setups will be down in the description. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, smash a like. It was trash for 5 likes. Thanks so much for watching. Most importantly, stay classy.